Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never miss any of my crazy updates.
Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm driving this. This is the all new Ducati Monster, and trust me, it's all new because it's different in almost every way. Just look at it. Where is the traditional trellis frame gone? Well, it's gone only because this one now uses an aluminium sort of a frame. It's split. Anyways, we'll talk about the front later, but first let's look at the wheels of this particular Monster. Red colored wheels. The tire size happens to be 120/70/17 Pirelli Diablo Rosso 3 tires and 320mm dual floating discs, Brembo brake calipers. Absolutely fantastic upside down forks and carbon fiber parts on this Monster Plus model. So yeah, this is carbon fiber. There's a lot of carbon fiber. In fact, this Ducati Monster Plus model has this sort of a fly screen which is very chintu mintu. It has a cowl at the rear, although that has been removed right now for this particular motorcycle so that we can experience the pillion seat as well. And that's about it. The carbon fiber parts, you can see it here as well. In fact, it says Ducati Performance right there. So a lot of badging on this motorcycle. First and foremost, it says Monster Ducati. The tank size has actually come down from 16.5 liters to 14 liters. So they have reduced that. And of course, it's very clean on the right side. You can't see any stuff as such from the engine. Now, this is an L-twin motor. This is a 937cc. And you know what? Another change which has happened is Ducati no longer puts it as Monster XYZ. Numbers are not there. Usually it was like the Ducati Monster 821 and all. None of that here, of course. Ground clearance seems fine. The engine obviously looks like a work of art. And these exhausts, two of them, they are upswept. And you can see the attention to detail on the pegs as well. It says Ducati right there too. So I really like the kind of attention detail they have given on this motorcycle. In fact, there's indicator here on the side. This is obviously the radiator of this motorcycle. There is where the VIN number is, or the chassis number is of this motorcycle. Coming to the rear, the tire becomes even bigger, of course. 180/55/17. That's kind of massive. I love the way the exhaust looks. Okay, you can put the key here to actually open the seat. Nice Ducati logo. And from the rear, it looks absolutely phenomenal. Just look at it. Obviously, all LEDs on this motorcycle. It doesn't really look that nice from this side because you can see those exposed bits as well. Meanwhile, you can see carbon fiber finishing looks absolutely scintillating. Okay, where does the pillion actually hold on to? Well, here maybe, or maybe he doesn't or she doesn't. It's very risky to sit on the rear seat of this motorcycle. Anyways, there's this tank guard here. So I'm going to do one thing. I'm just going to put the key inside, and when I turn it on, okay, it says Ducati right there, and then wait for it. Yeah, that is the menu, which is kind of nice. Now, a lot of things are very similar to other Ducati motorcycles, like the switchgear, for example. This is for the pass-by. This is for the horn, which is loud enough. This is for high beam and low beam. This is to enter the mode. So if I press this button, just notice this. Pressed there, I get into the modes, and then I can actually browse through like this. So there are 3 riding modes: sport, touring and urban. And you can see it makes changes to the engine, the traction control, the ABS, the quick shifter, as well as the wheelie control. So a lot of electronics on this motorcycle, and that's about it. So I'm just going to exit this menu for a moment. Yeah, now when I actually press this button, the mode button actually activates this, and then I have to use this to browse through trip meter, speed, consumption, fuel consumption, and all that data is here. Okay, now if I keep this button pressed upwards, I go into the top menu wherein I can browse through the Ducati Power Launch, lap timer, and the settings menu, which again is very expansive. Okay, the instrument cluster actually looks nice, but what is really even more amazing is when you turn on the motorcycle. So here I press the clutch, and then when I turn it on now, it actually gradually turns on all the lights here. I don't know, I did not do that right now, but I'll show it to you in a moment. Now this is actually the master cylinder, again a work of art. This is for the hydraulic clutch, again a work of art, and both the levers are adjustable, so you can adjust them as per your liking. The mirrors are fine till a point, and then they kind of get useless as well. Okay, typical Ducati character of this vibration and sort of unrefined nature lower down because of the L-twin motor. Now this is to toggle the light to get into, for the headlight, of course. This is the hazard light switch, and this is the engine kill switch of this motorcycle. Okay, the handlebar is actually wide enough here. We are going to go ahead so that I can show you the light. Now that is the DRL, which actually becomes a little dim. Yeah, the DRL actually becomes a little dim. So where is the button actually? Yeah, I'm just going to press this button. Now I've turned on the light. Yeah, you can see the difference it makes. It's quite a lot. We're going to go under high beam. Yeah, the light is actually very nice. In fact, you have the Ducati logo on the inside. That is some level of attention to detail. That's absolutely crazy. Let's go high beam, high beam. awesome. Okay, now the thing is, there is where you can see the indicator of this motorcycle, and at the rear it is even better. The light specifically, I love it. Even the indicators have this dynamic swipe treatment. Oh my god. And there's an Audi logo on the inside. That's absolutely crazy. This thing is actually vibrating at the moment, and there is the monoshock of this motorcycle. It's yellow colored, and right now there's a lot of traffic, a lot of people around. So let's do one thing. Let's rev the motorcycle, and here we go. Okay, there is a sort of a limiter in place. Maybe it's a side stand, of course. Yeah, it tells me side stand is engaged. So we're going to do one thing. We're going to turn off the motorcycle. Okay, keep this button. Yeah, it's turned off. Turn it off, and we're going to turn it on. And when I turn it on, you can see it rises and does a step up thing, and there's obviously the gear shift indicator. Let's do one thing. Let's start riding. But before that, let me tell you, the seat is absolutely crazy. It says Monster here. It's very soft and has just amazing cushioning. Let's go.
All right, we are all set to go, which means turning on the motorcycle, there's no clutch lock, so it turns on straight away into first gear. And let me tell you that the motorcycle has a weird riding position. The pegs are kind of raised now and little rear setish, center setish. I think I find it a little rear set. It's center set if I take it with my ass, but if I not talk about where my leg position is, it is definitely rear set as well. Oh, by the way, dynamic swipe indicators are there both at the front as well as the rear, and holy cow, it just feels better as you accelerate, because lower down it's kind of horrendous. And I don't like the positioning of the pegs. Even the brake lever, weird positioning. Clutch is really very heavy as such. And the bike actually feels heavy in spite of the fact that it's reduced its weight by 18 kgs, weighs around I think 188 kgs or so. So yeah, this is a more livable monster. So it's not really a monster because now you are friends with the monster. Because it's more accessible. The bike is kind of smaller, but the tank is longer, because of which, you know, even someone with such long hands as me, second to only Kanun ke haath, I find it really difficult to hold on to the handlebar because so far ahead, leading to a kind of lean in riding position. Although the bike is kind of small, nimble and compact enough to, you know, really ride aggressively. Plus, because of the lighter weight as such, once you get above 20-30 kilometers per hour, you can feel that lighter weight. It's very nimble and agile. I mean, you can really twist and turn. The older bike was a handful, trust me, it was really heavy in terms of the handlebar. This one has I think around 7 degrees more kya bolte hain, handlebar movement, which is great, because this results in just so much easiness in terms of riding this bike. Honestly, this is more of a city bike now. However, I can feel a bit of heating which is coming out, because obviously this is a L-twin motor, which is a 90-degree V-twin. It is a 937cc, the same engine which does duty in the Multistrada, in the Hyper Motard, in the Super Sport. That has come here, but compared to the older engine, which was the 821cc motor, Ducati has obviously increased the power. This kidnapping guy is waiting to kidnap someone or what? Either he should go right or he should go left. He's like wondering kisko kidnap maru aaj.
See the weather.
Anyways, so basic change here is that the motor is actually lighter than that massive motor which was there, rather the smaller engine which was there in the Monster 821. Okay, there is the range of anyways, let's come to a halt because it's time for DPL, which means Ducati Power Launch. We're going to activate it. 3 launches are available, so we are just going to get into neutral because I think that's going to activate it probably. Okay, and here on level 1 is where the launch is going to happen, which means into first gear, revving the motor. Oh, where did this Ducati Power Launch go? I can confirm that in a minute of waiting, my thighs are getting roasted because there's a lot of heat which is coming out. Okay, we are ready for Ducati Power Launch, which is not really launch control as such, but anyways, it says pull the clutch, engage, first gear, open, full throttle, ready to launch, and off we go. Holy cow! First gear 96, second gear OMG, this is just too fast. Oh my god, the character of this engine is such that it sucks in the low end, but in the mid range is absolutely was really strong, and then it has a nice top end as well, redlining around 10,000 RPM, but the grunt in the mid range is absolutely ballistic. It really goes hard and fast. Crazy punch, crazy performance, and the ride is actually quite nice as well. Even the brakes are quite good, like very sure-footed braking. In fact, the handling is also quite nice, much improved from before. The tires offer decent amount of grip, and then obviously the motor is really very crazy punchy, sounds nice as well. So it's producing 111 horsepower. Meanwhile, the torque output happens to be 93 Newton meters. The result is it should go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in around 2.79 seconds, which is quick. Top speed is dependent on how much wind blast you can tolerate, because there's a lot of wind blast on this motorcycle. Yeah, cooling could be better, kind of heating, because obviously this engine is such, you know, Ducati's L twins, they really heat up, and I don't know why, but I can feel so much heat already when even I'm not riding in stop-go traffic, so that's a bit of an issue as such. The clutch is on the heavier side somehow. The gearbox is not the slickest shifting. I mean, it is sure-footed, but not the slickest shifting as such, and we're just going to get into this lane and try to filter through traffic. And then this Santro guy has kind of messed everything for everyone, so we're just going to come here. Oh my god, there's not much enough space, but you can see this is a Ducati motorcycle which I'm managing to filter through traffic without any hiccup whatsoever. That's also very nice indeed. Like, look at it go, no problemo. And then time to open throttle, indicator off, and yeah, it likes to rev. It revs very fast. This motor likes to rev like real quick, doesn't hesitate at all, and then you want to go, and here it doesn't. It kind of leaps ahead. There are so many electronics on this motorcycle. Firstly, there are 3 ride modes. There's urban. Oh my god, absolutely crazy. So there are 3 riding modes, but we'll talk about that later, because there are 3 engine modes, low, mid and high, and there are like I think 3 modes for ABS as well, cornering ABS of course, 8 modes for traction control, wheelie control. It has got bi-directional quick shifter as well, and that's not all. It's also got launch control, which I already showed you, DPL, which is not really a launch control, but oh my goodness, the wind blast is absolutely crazy mad in this motorcycle. You really have to fight with the wind. Front end is so frantic most of the times. It just wants to lift and lift and lift and lift. Here we're going to do a downshift. So satisfying using the quick shifter of this motorcycle. We're going to come to hot brakes, are like really nice and strong. Okay, yeah baby. Okay, time for Ducati power launch once again. There are 2 launches available, so you don't fry the clutch. We are going to launch on level 2 right now. I have engaged. I have to keep the button pressed, engage, pull the clutch lever, and yeah, and off we go. Even with the Ducati power launching this motorcycle is a bit handful as such, because there's just too much grunt on offer, absolutely crazy amount of grunt on offer. So I'm just going to actually browse through this lap timer, setting mode and all that stuff. Okay, we are going to get into the riding modes right away. So there's a touring mode, which is also crazy. Urban mode is where things get a little sedate, not as mad as otherwise I feel. So I think urban mode would be a great way to ride this motorcycle when you don't want to be scared silly, because this motorcycle is all about like, yeah, even on a higher gear. Here we are. Okay, we are in urban mode right now. Let me get into the right mode. Just exit this menu, close throttle. Yeah, I have closed throttle. Arey, isse zyada kya close karunga throttle? Now it kind of activated sport mode again. The Monster is really transformed, trust me on this. Earlier it was fast, but it was not easy to ride. This one has dramatically become easier to ride, but because it's become more powerful also, it's not really that easy to ride. And what am I even saying? I'm coming back to the same point. So there are 2 variants on offer, the standard and the plus. I think the price is around 12, sorry, not 12 Faisal, it's 13.83 lakhs, something of that sort, on road Mumbai. This one cost 27,000 more, around 14.8,000 something, 14 lakhs 8,000. So yes, it's quite expensive, and honestly the Triumph Street Triple RS is still a better motorcycle in terms of handling, agility, and that inline triple is just unbelievable. But the Monster has taken a huge leap ahead. It's a street motorcycle and it absolutely excels at that, really giving you the fun of riding with its fun performance, and of course now engaging riding style as well. Just the sound at lower end of the rev range, below 2000 rpm, it really suffers, and it just feels so uneasy. It kind of feels like, why am I even doing this? I have no clue at all, because it's, I mean, it kind of feels like a tractor. I don't know if I can use that word, but it kind of feels like a tractor lower down. So the engine can be much more refined lower down, but that's the typical Ducati character, because this is the testosterone. I can't even pronounce the name. That Ducati makes it so complex and difficult to pronounce names of their motorcycle. Yeah, I'm using the quick shifter, works flawlessly well on this motorcycle. Alright, let's get into Ducati power launch again. Only 1 launch is available right now, which we are going to use right now. We're going to go on level 3, keep this button pressed, there it activates, hazard light off. Into first gear, revving the motor, pull the clutch, engage first gear and gradually release the clutch and start, and off we go. Okay, false neutral, so that did not go down well. It's saying DPL level on, DPL on, what am I saying? DPL on level 3 is what the motorcycle was saying. Well, absolutely stunning motorcycle, really fun to ride and really a monster in the true sense. So that character is still there because you know now the Monster actually saved Ducati from bankruptcy in 1993 when it came. It was the motorcycle which got Ducati so many sales. I think they sold around 3.5 lakh units till date. And it really got Ducati back on track in terms of sales. And this is a very epic car. The Safari Storm, and because it's so wide now, I can't even try and get out of here. But I shall because I can. And that's about it. Come on. Oh my god, filtering through traffic is good. In the earlier Ducati Monster, I couldn't do that. But still had to take a little bit of a reverse. Because still the steering angle is such now, you can't really comfortably maneuver it. Should come and stand here, not on the zebra crossing of course, and into first gear and off we go. The ride's good, but the ride is stiff as well. Overall it's compliant, but the front suspension is not adjustable. The rear is, but the front is not. So yeah, you have to deal with that. So guys, this is my vlog of the Ducati Monster, the new Monster, which is still a monster. If you like it, make sure to give the thumbs up, that's a like button, and also subscribe to the channel. In fact, here for the very first time I have got into 6th gear. Things are a lot calmer in 6th gear here, and then I open throttle. It takes some time, but that's not the point, because if you're riding a bike with so much power, you have to be on a lower gear. And on that bombshell, or rather disappointment, it's time to end. What is the disappointment? The disappointment is that we have hit a red signal. But hey, who cares? Into first gear. And off we go.